We've arrived at that sacred time again, Good Friday. For Christians, it's a solemn reminder of the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, his suffering, his death on the cross, and the deeper meaning behind that sacrifice. It's a time to reflect on how we live, what we believe, and where we're headed. For others, it may be a quiet moment carved out for personal reflection, an opportunity to set aside the usual noise and distractions. And for some, it's simply another public holiday. Wherever you fall on that spectrum, one thing remains true. There's more to life than just our routines and responsibilities. This moment invites us to pause, to think, and maybe, just maybe, to reflect and to reconnect with our faith, our values, and the things that truly matter. Well, you've just opened the pages of this magazine installment, and I'm your host, Audrey Williams. Today we're taking a moment to reflect on what's good about Good Friday. Here's one thing to start with: gratitude for life, health, and the men and women who help us put food on our tables each day.
These hands tell a story of early mornings, tireless work, and unyielding dedication. Strong, weathered, and resilient, these are the hands of a farmer. Today, we honor their hard work and sacrifice, and we take a moment to say thank you.
Jamaica is known for more than sand, sun, and sea. We're known for foods of the highest quality. This quality comes from the fresh ingredients provided by our food heroes, and for this, we're truly thankful.
Your efforts go far beyond the shores of Jamaica, reaching people far and wide. Because of you, the entire world gets a taste of Jamaica. For this, we thank you.
I run a chain of supermarkets, and we love to provide top quality produce to our customers. And through our local farmers, we can guarantee that. And for that, I'd like to say thank you.
You see me, I love my Jamaican food. And when you go to market, you always get fresh food. And you see for that, big up the local farmer there.
We have to big them up indeed. Our food heroes continue to defy the odds to ensure that you and I have food. The resilience and dedication of our farmers continue to amaze and inspire me. To be honest, there will be no Jamaica without the Jamaican farmers.
From as early as 3 a.m.
7 days a week.
Through rains and drought,
A farmer shows up.
So remember, every time you take a bite, thank a farmer.
I'm not a player, but even I know chess is more than a game. It's about strategy, foresight, and reading your opponent, skills we all need in life. Up next, we take you to the chess table to uncover the lessons behind each move.
A problem that cannot be solved easily. It will take more thoughtful strategic planning than just a simple 1, 2, 3 step solution. This is because chess players must consider a wide range of options before planning their next move. A process champions Aaron and Ariel have mastered.
There are so many benefits of chess. Chess helps with your mathematical skills. Chess helps with your reasonability. Chess helps with strategic thinking. Some people don't understand. Chess also helps with your patience level. You have to be patient to play the game of chess. Chess helps with the discipline, going through it. So the discipline of, sticking to it, getting a task done and completing a task and things like that. So when I learned of all the benefits of chess, and how it helps overall in terms of the development of a person, I said, my children will have to play chess. I started teaching my daughter when she was 3 years of age. I thought, well, if there's any time to start them, 3 should be good enough, So she started at 3 and she continued to play to date, and she's still playing now, now 16 years of age.
You know, when you're living in the same house as your coach, it's kind of difficult because you can't get into practice late because you're in the same house where practice is. You know, everything has to be very on time. You do badly at a tournament and you come home and you're still hearing about the tournament because your coach is with you. But you do well and you come home and you still get the congratulations and everything. I feel like I'm a more analytical person. I'm very observant. A lot of things I look deeper into than other people would. A lot of people are like, Ariel, how did you notice that? I'm like, well, it's there. But I realize a lot of people don't observe it like I do. I wouldn't say I'm an amazing math student, but I definitely would have been a worse math student if it hadn't been for chess. You learn to listen and you take your time with the problems and you kind of work through them.
My son, he saw her playing when he came on the scene, you know, when he was almost 2 years of age. And he said he wanted to play chess as well. I'm like, huh? So he came along and he said he wanted to play. So I said, all right, let me try him out to see how would he respond. So I started teaching him, he started making a move. By the time he was 3+, he was now checkmated. That's historic. They don't get them at that young age to start checkmated. You get what I'm saying?
Hello, my name is Erin McCoy. I'm 11 years old and I started playing chess at the age of 2. Chess helps you to think critically, also helps you with your math, which will be very useful later on in life. So chess is actually very good for education as well. Helps you focus.
Oh, I don't sure we have time to count the amount of tournaments. On average though, when Jamaica Chess Federation like puts on tournaments, you might have an average like about 6, 7, 8, about on average 8, you know, tournaments per year, you know, on average. And most of the time, they are participating in those tournaments. Average, they'll do like 8 to 9 tournaments per year locally, right? And then they'll also have like international tournaments.
First of all, going to an international tournament is very nerve-wracking. You know, you're representing the country, especially since whenever I've traveled, it's been in small groups, not necessarily big groups. So the whole country is counting on you, and whatever you do, the country is either going to applaud you for it or judge you for it. So it's very nerve-wracking.
Sometimes I might feel a bit nervous or a bit worried. And then the other time you're excited and you're ready to go.
Because of what I know chess does, I've written a book to reach more people. All right, so you're gonna move this bishop here. It's written that anyone can take up the book. You can take up the book and you can decide, oh, I'm gonna learn how to play chess.
Yes, I would encourage anyone to play the game, as your age doesn't really matter. It still has its benefits.
Play chess because it really helps you as a person. It helps your patience, you analyze, you observe. It really builds your self-esteem if you do become a good chess player.
Not only that, chess, you see, is a lot like life. One wrong move and you're backed into a corner. But having the right players in position will earn you a
checkmate.
In other words, build a reliable team and learn to play well with others. Did you know that reading is for everyone? Whether you're a student, a professional, or simply someone looking to expand your horizons, reading is for you. Reading expands knowledge, improves focus and concentration, enhances vocabulary, and serves to unlock your creativity. So make time for reading every day. Let's make reading a habit for a smarter, healthier, and more successful life. For reading is for everyone.
We all know how it goes. Need to submit a document? Get a justice of the peace to sign it. Passport size photo? JP again. Sure, the process might feel tedious sometimes, but it's necessary. Still, there are a few things you should know about how JPs should conduct themselves. Our next feature dives into the ethics and responsibilities that come with the title.
Ethical, trustworthy, and community-oriented, these are just a few words that describe a justice of the peace. The JP's seal and signature opens many doors, often serving as the main identifier for persons who fall within each justice's jurisdiction. And this can certainly be a breeding ground for corruption if one strict rule is not adhered to. According to Section 15 of the JP Act, the Office of a Justice of the Peace is not an office of emolument. Simply put, their duties should be performed free of charge.
What we invite the public to do, if you should approach a Justice of the Peace and that JP is asking you for a contribution, you do need to take down the name of the Justice of the Peace and report it to the office of the custos within the parish where the incident took place, or you can reach us at the Ministry of Justice. If you do not know all the numbers, you simply remember 888 Justice. Once you call that number, you will get to the right person and you can make that report, because Justices of the Peace are not to charge.
Why not? Well, the Code of Conduct for JPs points to two related reasons. First, this office and the duties it discharges are not meant for personal benefit. It's a community service. Importantly, JPs are bound to avoid conflicts of interest and ensure they have independence in the performance of their duties. If money or an equal value favor is involved, these are no longer guaranteed.
What has happened over the years is that we find some Justices of the Peace who would go against the norm and situate themselves in position to have the public come to them, and then they will charge them. Again, we are reminding Justices of the Peace of the provision within the Justices of the Peace Act that says that it is not an office of emolument, and so a Justice of the Peace is not to charge in any shape or form for any service rendered as a Justice of the Peace. They will be breaching that provision.
So what happens if a Justice of the Peace is found guilty of breaching this code of ethic? Well, that justice may lose the position.
Once you're in breach of the Code of Conduct that is situated in the Justices of the Peace Act, so I am emphasizing it to our justices who are listening to us, please be familiar with it. Once it reaches a point where contemplation must be made to revocate the tenure of that Justice of the Peace, and it is granted, there is no reapplication, there is no appeal to the process.
Revocation is done by the Governor General.
And only the Governor General can revoke that Justices of the Peace Commission upon the recommendation of the Minister and the relevant custos who would have had certain findings made.
Remember, this role is built on trust, integrity, and a commitment to the community. It's crucial for everyone involved to uphold these principles and ensure that the office remains a beacon of fairness and service. If you encounter any situation where a JP is requesting payment or a favor, don't hesitate to report it.
Calling all farmers and fisherfolk. The AgriCare Insurance Plan enrollment period is now open until May 31st.
We have an open enrollment period generally of the plan where members are able to enroll without any medical evidence of insurability.
Farmers and fisherfolk up to age 75 who are registered with RADA or the National Fisheries Authority are eligible to enroll.
There's still a lot of opportunity for persons to enroll, and I think, we need to ensure that we're making persons more aware of the products and the plans that are available, because something is available for everyone.
You can determine between health, life, or critical insurance plans based on importance and affordability. Enrollment is from March 1st to May 31st each year. Visit the nearest Sagicor location or website to sign up. The AgriCare Insurance Plan, a partnership of the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries and Sagicor Life Jamaica.
Now, we bring you to the table for a thoughtful religious discussion. Let's hear the perspectives and see where your views might lie.
Spiritual are just natural thing, but religious thing, a man create religion. But spirituality are from before creation, I bring man and woman together, spiritual connection. But religion a man-made thing. It cause war all over the world,
Take a walk out a halfway tree if you want to see suffering.
Welcome to the start of another He Says, She Says series, where we express our perspectives on topics such as relationships, workplace habits, careers, and other issues, more frequently discussed in silos, but we are now bringing to the forefront. Joining us today are Reverend Winston Peku, Chairman and Chaplain of the Frankfield Primary School Board, and the resident pastor for the Frankfield and Grantham Circuit of Churches of the Church of God in Jamaica, business owner Adermi Mitchell, and Region 6 President for the Jamaica Association of Guidance Counselors in Education, Avina Henry. All right, so the question is there a distinction between being religious and being spiritual? Rev, I want to start with you.
Even though the two words are used interchangeable at times, there are distinctions. As I said earlier on, religion is institutionalized base, it is community and tradition, it is doctrines and dogma, while spirituality is an individual thing. And as our brother said that, sometimes you don't really want to go, but as it might not go to church, but you're spiritual, you know that you have to keep the relationship with God going. So it's an individual thing in your spiritualized way.
All right, so how do you make that distinction and even choose your own spiritual or religious path? That's a question I want to ask.
You see, it's based again upon information, what you have heard, because you don't know about God. You can't know about God unless you hear about Him.
Or read about Him.
Or read about Him. So you read, you hear, and it is your reading and hearing that will direct you. And you see, what you hear and what I hear, we can hear the same thing but come to the different conclusion based on nurture and environment. Mm-hmm. Because you see we live in Jamaica and you see we live in our world. Many people are hearing the same gospel every day, but respond differently to it. So it is you who decide how you go about it. You see, if you open up and allow the Holy Spirit to direct you, then you can't go wrong.
All right, so my final question I want to throw out, is it important to focus on spirituality? Avina, I want to bring you in right here.
I want to say yes, it is very important. And for that, I'm sitting here and I'm listening. And you have to be careful of the religion you're a part of. Because religion can be good and it can be bad. It depends on the type, because in our religion, as he talks about, there are different ethics, there are laws, there are things that you're supposed to do in some of them. So as individuals, we have to be careful of the religion that we're a part of. That will not lead us down to destruction. So I will now answer your question about spirituality, that it is important for us to pay attention to the spiritual parts of our lives and be connected to the right source that will lead us to do good, to be one another's keeper, and to be a positive influence in our society. So yes, we should pay attention to our spiritual part of our lives.
And I say to that man is a spirit. He lives in a body and he has a soul.
All right, so I want to ask another question. Does choosing a religious path create division among people? Because remember, we are relational beings and not everybody may choose the same path. But does it create division? And then what advice would you give on a person looking to choose their spiritual journey?
That, and I balance it again. History is replete that religion has caused a lot of war. There's no hiding, there's no going around, but there's no dismissing that. But also, history is replete that religion has caused a lot of peace. So one has to be careful. You notice what is happening in the Middle East between Israel and all of those things, the Arab against the Jews and all of those things. That is also a religious war. So you see that religion does bring war. And even the church, if you do church history and at all, there was an East and the West church, and there was a time when once you mentioned earlier on about, evangelism and all those things, people was usually called some people witches, and they would have killed them. The church did that, because they were of a different religion. But if you follow Jesus, that is, as you said, we have to care for the religion. Many people take religion, and religion leads to different way, but Jesus is the only way to God.
So, Adermi, I want to bring you in right here. What advice would you give to somebody trying to decide their spiritual journey?
My advice to anyone that is trying to decide which spiritual journey or which religion they want to get into, at the end of the day, that we are all human beings, right? So treat our brothers and sisters the same way how you like to be treated.
Okay, Avina, you're as a counselor, what advice would you give somebody that is looking to decide on that spiritual journey?
I will send them to go and read the holy words. When you read the words and you leave self out of it and allow the God himself to lead you, you will get the answer. You will find the answer because you'll be guided by the Holy Spirit. Even in counseling, you have to have Christian counseling because you will not be successful. You cannot be successful unless the Spirit of the Lord is present. You will not get the results that you need.
All right, to help our people, what advice would you give someone embarking on a spiritual journey? I want to start with Adermi.
That's for anyone who's embarking on a spiritual journey, as our commander says, in terms of, you have to have people that are around you to help you, support you with that spiritual journey. Because it's evil and good is real. That's how we can put it as. So you want good people around you to help form you and guide you along that way.
Okay. Perfect. All right. That's a perfect way to end. And that's where we end our He Says, She Says conversation. Stay tuned for more. Our guests were Reverend Winston Peku, Avina Henry, and Adermi Mitchell. Thanks for watching. I'm Andre Palmer. Take care.
In a fast-paced world, it's easy to act on autopilot. But what if we took a moment to be intentional about our choices, to recognize that every action counts? Small intentional actions can create a ripple effect. A simple smile, a helping hand, or a kind word can change someone's day and inspire them to pay it forward. Being intentional starts with mindfulness. Practice gratitude. Choose kindness in your interaction.
Every choice we make has the power to inspire, uplift, and create a better world. Take a moment each day to be intentional.
I greet you well on this blessed and holy Good Friday. The name is Reverend Winston Peku, and I'd like to share a brief word with you from the Gospel according to John chapter 19 and verse 30. And it says, when Jesus had suffered the sour wine, he said, it is finished. Then he bowed his head and gave up the ghost. Share my little theme with you is on the word, it is finished. It is the sixth saying of Jesus. And these words, it is finished, my friend, were not a cry of defeat, but a declaration of victory. Oh God, a declaration of his triumph. At that moment when he cried, it is finished on the cross, he wasn't saying, I am finished suffering. He was finished, is completing his divine mission on earth, where we come to seek and to save those that are lost. He didn't say, I am finished, but it is finished. The plan, the payment, the penalty, all completed. The weight of sin that the universe carried and which separate man from God was now defeated. The veil was rented. It was finished. Nothing more will be done, nothing more can be done, and nothing more must be done. In fact, it is a sculptor. When you look at that marble bust, you recognize that there was no tarnish, nothing, no little thing there. It was also an artist's terminology. No other little refinement need to be done. So we don't need the blood of the lamb anymore, because somebody has taken the place of the lamb. Jesus paid it all. You don't have to work for it, because it is finished.
We've come to the end of our program. For a full recap and more, visit our website at gis.gov.jm. I'm Audrey Williams. May joy be with you always.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.